Hi, in this tutorial we will create a radial bar shader which will help us to implement our health bars, for example, under feeds of our characters without canvas. So here you can see one of the examples. We can control fill and thickness of this bar, and also we can change this color, also alpha value for color, to control this color of field and background color. So let's create a new project with URP to use shader graph. Then let's create folder materials. In folder materials, we need folder shaders. And here we need to create new shader graph, which will be URP unlead. We use unlead because we are working with UI. It's like UI, but in 3D, and we don't need lighting here. Here is our shader graph. Let's create some stuff here. So we will be using our fragment shader for all of our work. We will just doing everything in our fragment shader. Let's create an ellipse node, which will be probably the base for our radial mask. We need to create it with 1 and 1 like width and height. So 0.5 will be our radius. Let's create a variable which we will call thickness. It will control thickness of this like round or circle. So we need to create a second ellipse, which probably will be subtracted from our first ellipse. They probably will be multiplied, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's create a float, which will be our radius, and let's put it in our height and width, but it must be double radius, so let it be 1 and not 0.5, as I mentioned. And now we need to subtract from this double radius our thickness, which probably will be 0.1 by default. And let's put it here. So now you can see this second ellipse is a bit smaller. Yes? Yes, it is. Let's just make it slider, and it must be actually here from 0 to 0.5 because we have 0.5 as radius. Okay, then let's create node 1 minus, which will be inversing our colors here. And then we just need to multiply this. Okay, let's multiply this thickness because it's just double. And then we need to multiply these results, and we will get this circle filled with one color, just white. And where we have black, it must be alpha channel. Let's call it, okay, let's call it base, just base for our bar. Okay. Now let's create a new float, which will be fill from 0 to 1. It's just a slider. By default, it must be something like, I think 0.3 to see it correctly. Yes, surely. So let's create this one. Here we also need to get our UV coordinates again. Now we need to split them. Yes, let's split them. After we are splitting them, we need to use our tangent 2 node, which will return from sinus and cosine. Like we put in it sine and cosine of angle, and it gives us angle, which we were looking for. Now we got the angle, so we need to compare it, but we cannot compare it, just we can remap it firstly. Yes, but the only problem is that this angle now is centered from our side bottom left corner, and we need to put it in center, so we need to subtract 0.5 and 0.5 vector. We are working here with 2D, so this other z and W coordinates are not important, like at all. So now let's remap it, because arctangent 2 gives us value between minus p and p. We need to remap it as 0 to 1 as our fill mask. Not fill mask, but fill. You can call it mask, but it's just a single value float. So we will get this p constant, and let's multiply it by minus 1. You can see this parameter in max and min is just vector 2. So let's combine them together and put in min max. Now you can see it's from 0 to 1. So then let's put here fill, and let's just avoid if. We will subtract from this filled thing just what we have filled. We will subtract this fill mask. Now we can get these values, what is filled and what is not, but we also need to clamp it between 0 and 1 to don't have any values with minus. So this construction you can avoid with comparison and if, but it's probably more expensive for your GPU. So I made it like this. Let's call it, okay. Let's call it, probably I think we need to call it like UV coordinate angle. Yeah, maybe delta, because we are using not angle degrees or radians, not, we are using just this delta from 0 to 1. So I called it delta. Okay, let it be delta. Then let's convert this to this group selection and say it's fill mask. It's just what we are filling with. Yeah, so this part we will fill, and part which is black is not filled. Now we need to multiply them to get what is filled. So filled is something like this probably. Another thing, we need to get color for our background. So this one field color is for our field color, and this one will be for our background. We just need to 1 minus this fill mask and then multiply it with our base, and we will get just inversed half, probably not half, but just a part of circle. Let's create a color variable, which will be our field color, and another one will be like clean color, which will be our background, and this one will be fill color. So let's order it a bit. Yeah, and now we need to multiply this with our, okay, let's set up it a little bit. So this one must be gray with a little bit of alpha. Here alpha must be whole, and we also need something like green, for example. And let's multiply them together, like just to get these colors. And here we also need to make a multiplication. We need to multiply our background mask with this clean color, and then we need to add them together to get final color. The only thing I haven't mentioned here right now is that we are not using alpha channel, which is probably really important. So we will split this channel and then combine it in vector 3 as a color and put it in our base color. But we also need to use alpha channel. So this one, we need to multiply our alpha channel with our base mask. So yes, so with this base we need to multiply our alpha channel. Oh wait, yes, I need to multiply it Of course, I just selected not this mask. Now it's okay. You can see there is a part of gray because we have a bit of alpha here, and there is a solid white, so that looks great. Then we need to turn this graph settings to transparent to have this transparency channel, which is alpha. And then let's call some of these parts like clear, which is clear color. And another one is field. Probably yes. Then we also can, probably we can rename this a bit. Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's save it. Let's create a new plane, which will be our radial bar. I will just delete the old one and add new one, like this, radial bar. Yeah, and I will create a new material. Sorry for this bug, for this error in the console. It just do nothing, it's okay. It's not a error already. It isn't actual. Okay, so let's use it. As you see, it works. But there is one small problem here. Oh yeah, I just subtracted not this value, so it was filling from not right place. It like was turning from right to left, and we need to turn it from left to right. Now it works pretty okay, and you can see we can customize it. Like we can change every color, and we can change this thickness parameter, we can change this fill parameter, and it works totally fine. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you really enjoyed it, please like and subscribe.